The CEO of Viessmann Group and joins us, and of course Annetta is staying with us. Max, great to have you with us. Thanks so much for giving us your time this morning. Look, one of the big focuses for you in this new investing initiative is working on heat pumps and green solutions. Obviously, as the world has to react to the energy crisis, there is greater focus on conservation, but also on better green technology. Are heat pumps necessarily the right way to go, given their high upfront installation cost?
First of all, good morning to you as well. I think when we look at the current situation, we always have to bear in mind what the longer term picture will look like. And I think it's pretty clear to all of us that the investments that we're taking, especially in the European building stock, will have a long-lasting impact on the future generations. So for us, ramping up our game in renewables and especially in the usage of heat pumps is to some extent a no-regret move because it allows us to move away from fossil in the short term, but it also allows us to contribute to the generations to come in the longer term.
Is it an entirely carbon neutral solution?
Well, I think it really comes down to obviously the energy mix that you use. We enable households to become almost completely energy independent by generating their own renewable electricity, storing it, and then also managing it with a digital energy management system, and then use it in the heat pump. I think that's one part of it, but the other part of it is if there's still fossil energy in the energy mix, you use it 3 or 4 times more efficiently than in other solutions. So if you use 1 kilowatt of electricity, you get 3 to 4 kilowatts of thermal power out of that, which is an extraordinary efficiency that will help us to not only cope with the current situation, but also to move away into a brighter future, so to say.
Hi, it's Annette here in Frankfurt. Max, let me ask you about, how do you feel a position right now amid all that uncertainty given in that huge investment plan you're putting in place today? So, because there's so much uncertainty out there, would you say you have to look through it and look into the longer term, and the German government is actually giving you a good framework to invest all that money?
I think, Annette, as and you and I know, with family businesses, it doesn't really necessarily come down to the right framework, but it comes down to the purpose that you embark on. And our purpose is to create living spaces for generations to come, which is what we do in our everyday life. And of course, the times now are really uncertain with supply chains being challenged, but also from an energy resilience perspective. And I'm not even talking about geopolitical influences. But when you look at it from a 105-year family history perspective, those unprecedented times as we see them right now, they need unprecedented decisions. And that's why we're really firm on making that investment now, despite the given circumstances.
Yeah, we were just discussing before that there is a potential of an oil embargo coming as soon as this week. It might get an answer from Russia also banning gas. So how much would that affect your business? And do you already make contingency plans?
I think when we look at the oil embargo, it's pretty clear to everybody that this is financially going to have a much higher impact than any influences on the gas side for Russia. So taking that move and also bearing in mind that the oil infrastructure is much more flexible because it's not based on given pipelines like in gas. I think discussing that now and taking a stand is an obvious move, given the aggressions that we see in the eastern part of Ukraine. But when we look ahead, it's quite clear that we need to move towards a resilient and primarily renewable-based energy system. And we need to accelerate that, as this is truly a no-regret move. And I think this is exactly what we need to do right now, despite the given geopolitical influences.